Okay. Hi guys, I'm Saintvicious, and I'm going to be doing the patch 3.05 rundown, basically with my thoughts on it. So let's go through them. So Akali got her Q damage, the upfront damage on it nerfed by like 30, and then they changed the AP ratio on it and increased it by 0.5. So this kind of like nerfs her early game a lot. And then they also increase the charge rate on Essence of Shadow. So what this is basically nerfed to Kali's early game, allowing her to not snowballs as much. I think it's a really huge nerf to Akali. I think she's still viable and she's still a fine champion. It's just like her. It used to be like, hey, I'm level 6 with Akali, and the second I hit level 6 and I get like 2 stacks of my R, I can probably all in you. And I don't really think that's going to be the case anymore. So you just got to play a little bit more smart with Akali and pick and choose your your trades, and clean up things like that. So then what we got? Corki. So now fires a big one every third missile instead of fourth, and missile charge rate reduced to 8 at max rank instead of 12. This is actually really good because it puts them more in line with something like Ezreal, which has a really good poke. It makes Corki more of a poke champion, and it fits more into that niche, because I guess a lot of people feel like Corki doesn't really have a niche to something he's like amazingly good at. So now it's more of an AoE poke machine, sort of like Ezreal. Um, but I feel like they still didn't fix the real problem with Corki, was his mana problems. Like Corki has, you do like one Valkyrie QE at level 3 or 4 and you're completely out of mana. Like his Valkyrie costs a little bit too much mana, they need to lower the mana on it, and they need to lower the mana on his Q as well. So they do that, Corki should be in a really good place. Corki has a really strong late game though. I think you'll be maybe seeing people pick him up a little bit more with these changes as other current ones. So they changed Karma all over again. I actually haven't even played her since the change, and everyone I've seen play her just basically sucks the dong. So I'm not even gonna go over Karma like until I see one do good, or like I don't know. Like it still feels like they're really grasping to find a place for Karma. So I'll come back to that another day. So they nerfed Divine Blessing cast range by 900 and intervention by 900. So this is, I guess, to like make Kayle have to be more into the fight. They want her to be almost like a brawling champion, instead of just like, because a lot of people are playing her support right now, and they're sitting off on the side and they're just like healing and protecting people with your ultimate, like no matter where they are on the screen. So I guess they're just kind of like pushing people to fight up close more. Kayle still gonna be fine, I think, though. Lux, they nerfed her base movement speed by 10, and then they added 10 seconds to the cooldown at max rank on her ultimate, which is really like good, because at max CDR, like your ultimate was coming up every creep wave, so it was almost impossible to push into her. And Lux is just too strong in team fights because your ultimate come up twice in long team fights too. And then on top of that, her base movement speed was 340, which is incredibly fast for. That's like what your average melee champion has, or like your bruiser melee champions have. Most AD carries should have like 320, and your AP carries should have like 325. So even still, she's pretty fast. So these are just like minor nerfs. She's still gonna be good though. And they reduced all the mana costs on Morgana. These are just kind of quality of life changes. Nothing really big here. Like nothing really matters to this. Morgana's still just gonna be like okay, I think. Nami range increased on Tidal Wave, so they increased it even more, and then they reduced the cooldown on it. And then they reduced the mana cost also. So these are just kind of like quality of life changes. And the range on Tidal Wave was already like insanely long, so I don't know. I don't think these are the changes Nami needs to be like super competitive, but I think she's like an okay champion right now. She's fine, I think. Like she just needs to find like somebody just needs to pull her out and show that she's good. I think she's okay though. Nautilus base armor increased to 19 from 15, and then reduced Titan's wrap cooldown. So these are like really good changes for his first clear, because that's actually Nautilus's biggest weakness right now. Is his first clear sucks so bad, and he can't scrap with people. Like his skirmishing ability is really bad because he has low armor and his cooldown on Titan's wrap so long. So I think you're actually going to probably see Nautilus getting picked up in competitive play and in solo queue games probably after this patch, because I've been playing him before that and he seemed okay. Nunu, absolute zero, cooldown lowered, that's whatever, and the mana cost reduced. Still whatever. Nunu's going to be like an okay champion. I don't think he's going to be anything special. These are kind of quality of life changes just because he has such a low mana pool anyways. Especially when I jungle him. I feel like I'm always out of mana on Nunu. So these are just good little quality of life changes. Quinn, they just did like some minor tweaks, nothing really, and then Urgot, same thing, minor tweaks, so nothing really. This is a big change. Volibear, they reduced, basically they took 15% of his movement speed off his Q, uh, which basically allows it to where you can actually run away from Volibear. Before, like 45% movement speed at level 1 is pretty insane. Like that's just so much movement speed. That's like even more than Uter max rank bear stance. It's just so much movement speed. It's good that they nerfed this. Volibear is still going to be really good. This just kind of tones down his early game a little bit. Still really good though. Spirit of the Ancient Golem got changed to, they took away the armor and made it cheaper, made the build order different, and added 10% CDR. I actually played with this item in a scrim, and I actually really like it because 2,300 gold before was pretty expensive for a jungler for what it gave, and I felt like it didn't really give the stats that a jungler needs. So now it gives tenacity, so you can build Ninja Tabby, and it gives CDR, which is an amazing stat on junglers, and it also just costs a little bit cheaper. So overall, I think it's a really good item if you're going to be going towards the Ninja Tabby type builds. Um, I like this change though. It's a good, really good pickup on Nasus because you can go Ninja Tabby and then pick this item up as well. And then Spirit of the Elder Lizard got like tweaked down. They lowered the attack damage on it and they lowered the overall cost. So I don't know how I feel about it. It's like still an okay item. Uh, I don't know. It's just an okay item. I'll just say that. Like it's nothing special. And then Seraph's Embrace, the active mana cost reduced to 20% current mana from 25, and then the active shield got adjusted to 20% of current mana plus 150 from 25% current mana. This is like a buff and a nerf. Because most people what they're doing was getting the Roa and the Archangels together, and the shield to be really strong. But this is more to buff if it's just an Archangels instead of an Archangels with Roa. So, and then they changed Mirror Mana to toggle damage to be physical from magic. This is a buff and a nerf. It makes your overall damage high if you built Armor Pen, but it also doesn't make it to where Mirror Mana is an option if you have an 80 heavy team and they're stacking armor. So buff and nerf. It's still okay though. But yep, that's my rundown of the patch. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll do another one next week. Alright, bye bye.